Hymn, Join Me in Death. Guitar tabs, guitar lesson. Alright, so I'll be showing you this in a drop D tuning. Just a special note though, if you want to play in the exact recorded key, you would want even a half step lower, so a drop D flat or a drop C sharp. So if you're playing along with me, we're just going to hang out in a drop D just for ease of accessibility here. But if you want to play along to the recording, you'll have to do a drop D, take everything a half step lower too. Alright, so with that out of the way, we'll get into this original hymn version. I'll show you a little cover version that takes things even lower. I'll show you that in a bit, but for this, so drop D, D-A-D, G-B-E, and if you want to play the little like piano intros, you can do that pretty easy. Up here, we go D string, 14, 16 G, and then we go 14, 16 on the high E. Okay, then we go kind of the same look at the 11 D, 13 G, 11 to 12, so just a slight difference there on the high E. And then that same thing we did there, just take it down to the 6th fret. We go 6 D, 8 G, 6, 7 high E. Alright, and after we go through that a couple times, then we bring it super high after the initial 14, 16, 14, 16. We go same strings, 16 D, 18 G, and then 16, 18 high E. Alright, and you know, after that, everything kind of comes in heavy, and we get these initial hits on this 5th fret here of the D-A-D. Alright, so like a G power chord, and it's just kind of bang bang, slides it down to the 3rd fret. Hit that for a couple, and then you can get more of a full chord on it by doing, you know, the 3 on the D-A-D with the 5G, 8B. Okay, lift off to the open low D now. Give a couple hits on the power chord, the D-A-D open, and then you can mix in this minor with the 2G, 3B, 1E. Alright, and then for the initial intro here in the choruses, the first couple choruses, we slide the 5 on the D-A-D, slide that up to 7s, hit that for a couple, and then you can get the 9G and 8B mixed in there with it. And do that twice. Alright, go through that, and then we do the initial 5s to 3s. And then for the intro, we just, from there, come up to 5s again. And you can get a fuller G chord, hit like the 5s on the D and D with the open G and B. Just let that ring, gets us into the verse. And for the verse, we switch to a palm mute. So just lightly touching our palm here past the bridge. Alright, and we start at the A power chord, so just 7s on the D and the A there. Palm muting it, just down strumming 8th notes. About 8 of them. Down to the E, so just 2s on the D and the A here. Same deal there. Go between those 2 chords a few times. After we do that, we just lift off to the open D for about 8 strums. To the 5s for the G. Alright, for 8 strums. Okay, go through that whole thing a couple times, and at the very last time, instead of just coming up to the 5s and just strumming them out, we kind of just lift off the muting, hit them a couple times dynamically there, kind of hesitate, and a couple more closer, like. Alright, and that'll get us into a full chorus there. And a special note here, at the end of the second chorus, we get kind of a different little dynamic thing that leads us into kind of the bridge, all that stuff, where we'll be at the A, hear that power chord, the 7 on the D-A-D. You can throw in like the extra octave there at the 9G, and it's just kind of like da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay, it's different dynamic there that gets us into the bridge section. And with that bridge section, everything just kind of gets a little more spread out and sparse, just single strums of basically the chorus. So we're just hitting the 3s on the D-A-D with the 5G, 6B. You can just strum it, let it ring. Come off to the big open D minor here with the open D-A-D with that 2, 3, 1 there. And then back to the A at the 7s with that extra 9 and 10. Alright, and then the second time through, we do the 3s to opens and then just stop there for that little vocal break. And the last chorus, everything pretty much stays the same, but at the very end, instead of sliding the 5 to 7s and going 5 to 7s again, we slide the 5s to 7s as usual. Alright, but then instead of doing it again, we just take the 7s, slide it down to 5, and hit that with some open, 5s on the D-A-D with the open B and G there. Okay, just a subtle little difference the way we end that final chorus. And then of course there's a different little piano part at the very end where it just keeps that initial little scale up going, the 14D, 16G, then we go 14B, 17, high E, 14D, 16G, 14B, and then 15 on the high E, 17 to 19. Alright, so if you want to do the heavier, or basically like lower, metal versions out there, basically we can play it just the same, but there are two parts that we really take advantage of the lowness, and basically we're going to be wanting to mess with this drop A tuning. But again, with this, you'll want to take this tuning a half a step lower as well if you want to play along with the recording, because they'll be in a drop A flat basically. But just for our purposes here, I'm just going to do a drop A, and it's kind of a drop A hybrid. We're taking it down to an A, so we'll need this low string to be an A, and then we're going to keep a D under it, so it's not really a drop tuning there, but we're going to keep that D there because we'll keep the D, A, D. Alright, so we go A, D, A, D, and then the G and B. I'm using this extra string here. Don't worry about this high string, just pretend it's not there. So we're just messing with the 6 strings here, and like I said, we'll have an A, D, G, B. Alright, so basically we can play everything from the original sections as we did, because we still have that drop D from the 5th string, not counting this low string. So okay, we still have that open just D, drop D tuning there. Alright, so we can still play all the previous parts just as we did, but now there's a couple parts, like I said, like the second verse gets low with the super low A string here. Alright, and it's just doing some kind of like like drop A metal type chugs on it. And so we'll have like this open A power chord here. Alright, and it's just kind of like a bop bop but up but up but up but up. Alright, just really staccato kind of strumming there with the super low A. And then it goes back to the F sharp there. So with that we can do just our 2s on the D string, the 5th string, and the A. And then it throws in kind of a little something at the end. which is basically on the middle A string here now, the 4th string, just to pull off from like 3-2 open. Okay, something like that. And then the alternate time that it does it, the second time, it does, you know, on that A string it goes 3-2, open on the middle D string, open to 2. Okay. Alright, and it just kind of alternates between those two little endings. And then it will just come off to the opens on the D and the A, and just kind of chugs those the same way. Alright, and then just up to the 5th fret here. You know, we're not including the low A on this. Okay, it's that kind of dynamic strums of the G power chord there. And then at the bridge, this is the other time where we kind of make use of this low A. We start here on the 5th string, the D, and we're just, you know, picking away on 3s. You could just alternate picking out those 3s. We're, you know, about 16 of them. Up to 5s, same deal. And then it does this real kind of like herky-jerky, super low A to high notes. So we'll come up and hit the A octave on the 12 on the middle A to the couple of open low string A's, chug those out, hammer it 10 to 12. Okay, something like that. And then we kind of walk it up on the middle A here. We go 9, back to a couple of low A's, 10, low A, 10, 12. Okay, just real like punchy kind of notes in there. Comes back off to the low A for a couple, hammers the 10 back to 12, to a big A power chord. And then just back at the 5s on the D, A, D there.